What's going on, everyone? The Santa Claus rally is in full effect right now. This is honestly ridiculous. The SPY made new all-time highs. And what's crazy is that I might have alerted the last bottom of the year completely for free on Twitter perfectly. This is like beautiful. We caught this bottom so spectacularly back when the NASDAQ was trading at 378. I said that I was getting into 379 calls. I alerted that on Twitter, and right now we're at 403. So it's like this was a $25 move. Where, oh my god, this is what a. I honestly hope that a lot of you guys made a lot of money following my analysis and my thesis and the plays that I post on Twitter. So if you guys gain value from anything that I post here, please make sure to like the video, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share with your friends and family. And without further ado, we're going to go over the SPY, the NASDAQ, the IWM, the crypto markets, and the 7,600 different stocks you guys wanted me to go over for technical analysis. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, first of all, the SPY is really, really strong. So obviously a bunch of green candles, right? But the most important thing to me right now is that we didn't have any wicks down for 3 days in a row. 3 trading days in a row, we didn't have a huge wick, meaning that there wasn't a retest of support, which is ridiculous. So, I mean, that's first and foremost. We completely obliterated the resistance at 473.50, and I mean, here we are. So now we're becoming overbought in terms of the Bollinger Band. So we're starting to creep outside of it. So tomorrow we have to see how much further outside we're going to be. And then from there, you know, that's when it starts to become a bit more bearish. But right now, this whole move was perfect, and we caught this beautifully. And this was, I mean, Santa Claus rally, baby. It's just the last 5 days of the trading year and the first 2 days of the trading year are known as the Santa Claus rally. 77% of the time, the market is green. And yeah, wow. All right, let's talk about the indicators. So the MACD, overbought. Cool. Obviously, it's going to be overbought. We just made new all-time highs. That's not as important currently. The thing that I want to talk about is the RSI. So I was saying that the RSI, you know, over the weekend, yesterday's video, I was saying that the RSI moved so stagnantly right here, right? Very stagnant in a flat way. Yet the price of the stock was very, very sharp, right? So so essentially what that means is there is so much room to the upside that if the RSI continued to move along in this stagnant way, by the time the RSI made overbought territory, then the SPY would end up being at 488.76. And 488.76 is the next upward target for the SPY. There's no other, like, I mean, there's nothing else to look at because we're at new all-time highs. So we're in price discovery mode. And yeah, the strength in the RSI was very prevalent today. And algorithms and everyone picked up on it. And yeah, that was basically why my thesis was very, very bullish. The RSI showed so much strength. It's the Santa Claus rally. A bunch of different reasons, guys. I was saying that we were going to lean very, very bullishly into the end of the year. So yeah, I mean, now essentially, pragmatically speaking now, if you don't have a position long, we're going to want to retest levels of support. So we're going to want to come back and retest the prior all-time highs on the SPY at 473.54. And then this 468 level is going to need to hold. So that's what we're currently looking at. The upward target is going to be 488.76. And aside from that, I mean, we're going to get a better understanding of how far higher the SPY can go when we look at the NASDAQ and the IWM. So let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. Oh, just look at how beautiful we caught this. This was so just an amazing, I mean, all right. I hope I helped you guys with this play. This was just a textbook. Everyone was afraid, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. I bought the dip. I posted it on Twitter. I made videos on it on YouTube. I was willing to risk my entire image. So, I mean, Yeah, man, it's a good feeling when the play works out. But man, like, it's crazy because like I know that I'm right most of the time with my analysis, and then like I've just been blessed with the opportunity to help a bunch of people by just making videos, just posting them online. It's a crazy life we live, man. It's a really crazy, amazing life. Wow. All right, so the next upward target on the NASDAQ. All right, so first of all, the SPY, the Bollinger Band was starting to, crunch up, and the upper level of the SPY and the Bollinger Band were starting to meet. Over here, we can see the NASDAQ, the Bollinger Band is moving upward. So that is a very bullish sign, meaning that there's still more room to go to the upside right here, right? And clearly we can see that's the case because the NASDAQ has not made a new all-time high yet. And, the next upward target is going to be 408.71. So, again, the NASDAQ barely even wicked down either. Very similar to the SPY. So the levels that need to hold are obviously 402, 400, and then, 397. But again, at this point, we made such a ridiculous move to the upside that taking some profits would be completely normal. Like, we are in a very bullish environment right now. The Fed is not tapering back on huge amounts of asset purchases. We've overcome all of the Omicron, the virus scares and stuff in the market. And, it looks like we're in full send mode. But again, just be wary and wait for dips. If you haven't entered any positions and you aren't long, you need to wait for us to come back and retest support. So, I mean, yeah, you can see that the NASDAQ still has room, another $5 at least, which means that the SPY is going to follow and use the strength of the NASDAQ to also go up. So, I mean, that will help the SPY get to 488.76. And yeah, I mean, this was so beautiful. I mean, wow. So yeah, the next key level of resistance is going to be this 405.50 level on the NASDAQ. If that clears, then we're going to retest new all-time highs. And there's my analysis on the NASDAQ. Sorry. One thing that we have to look at now is, this usually always works. It's worked almost every single time in the past. All right, so look, so basically, when there is a very, very sharp uptrend, when the uptrend breaks, when the uptrend level breaks, that is a very, very good time to get into shorts or get into put positions. So we're going to be monitoring that uptrend as well. Could go ahead and delete that right now. It's not really applicable, but just keep that in mind. When we have a very, very sharp uptrend, anytime, this whole uptrend back in October, when we started to cross down below levels of support, beautiful, easy dip buying. Oh, beautiful, easy put buying opportunity right here. And then you made another uptrend here. When that broke, boom, very easy put buying opportunity. Put buying opportunity all the way into a beautiful long opportunity. And I alerted the puts and I alerted the longs all on Twitter and YouTube. That is ridiculous. And then I alerted this bottom again. So, I mean, yeah, man, this is just a blessing that I'm able to do this and help you guys out. Because at the end of the day, like, I would have wanted there to be someone that like just helps, like that isn't trying to look for something in return, or, learning early on when I was learning like 8-9 years ago, like when I first started really, really diving deeply into the market, everyone was just like a snake oil salesman. And I lost a lot of money trying to find someone to learn from. And yeah, man, I'm just trying to do my best to give back. Anyway, yeah, so the NASDAQ RSI sharply moved up today. The RSI was, the strength in the RSI was very telling today as well. That's why the price moved up so much. And we broke above key levels of resistance here. This 403 level and this 402.07 level. But yeah, so there's the analysis on the NASDAQ. Now we have to definitely take a look at the IWM. All right, this is honestly, all right, let's get serious. All right, the IWM wicked down today. It wicked down a bit yesterday and the day before. So it's not the same as the SPY and the NASDAQ. The RSI is still stagnant. The Bollinger Band, we're still not even at the upper level of the Bollinger Band. And, you know, we held this 220.54 level perfectly as support. And clearly the next level of resistance is going to be this 225.11 level, which is the 38.2% fib. So, my thesis is that once people start taking profits out of the NASDAQ, they're going to want to put money into a lagging indice, which has more room to go to the upside. So the IWM obviously has way more room to go to the upside in terms of its all-time high price compared to the NASDAQ, right? So we have to keep that in mind and, you know, just be ready. So yeah, I mean, if we can create a base above 225 and we, you know, respond well with this Bollinger Band, it would be a really good opportunity to get into some longer term calls. Maybe for a few weeks out or a month or two out, be a really good solid call, because in January, the IWM generally outperforms the market. And the IWM is the indice that I made the most money off of in my entire life. So it's really, really worth looking at. And we're going to make a bunch of money together on the IWM too. So yeah, man, it's going to be sick. It's going to be an amazing year. And yeah, man, we already had a crazy first day to the end of the year. Anyway, yeah, so the IWM has tons of room to the upside as well, which is going to be fuel for the SPY to also go up higher. And honestly, this is just, I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, we're calling bottoms, and it's just, they're working. And yeah, you can see that there's still tons more room to the upside on the IWM. But yeah, there's my analysis on the SPY, the NASDAQ, the IWM. Not much really else to talk about today. It needs to hold 220.54 support. 225.11 is the resistance. The Bollinger Bands are moving a bit upward, which means that it's bullish. So, you know, there's still more room to go to the upside. And yeah, that's truly it for the stock market. Now we should definitely take a look at the crypto market. All right, so short term, the indicators on Bitcoin are looking very, very bullish. So I was saying that Bitcoin is going to break out of this downward, you know, pattern here. It was going to move back up and potentially retest this 53,000 level. I circled this one because that was the first target, and you know, it was the most likely place it would touch. And we can clearly see right now it's acting as resistance. The next target to the upside is going to be 53.3, but what we can see right now in terms of the indicators is that the MACD is moving downwards, yet the price of Bitcoin is moving upwards. So that is very, very bullish. So what I still believe is going to happen is we're either going to fail here, or we're going to break, and then we're going to fail here. We might overshoot to 54 or 55, but then, in my opinion, we're going to fail. And then from there, that's when the real decisions are going to be made on where to keep the price, and, you know, longer term macroeconomic views of Bitcoin. But right now, short term, I definitely think it's going to retest 53, 54 if we can clear 51.5. And yeah, currently the strength in the indicators, it's looking like that might be the case. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's showing tons of strength. And yeah, I mean, that is really truly it. Aside from that, overall, we need to watch the RSI. It's, you know, a bit stagnant, but really there's not really much else to watch. I mean, I was saying that it would break out. Now it's just, it can, you know, stagnate here for a few days, and then it will make a move, and then we just need to monitor the indicators. There's nothing immediately going on in Bitcoin. I can't really tell you any like key levels that it can hold. But yeah, there's my analysis on the crypto markets. Now let's go ahead and take a look at all of the stocks you guys wanted me to take a look at. So number one, let's go ahead and take a look at gold. So this is very, very, like, it's a very painful chart for me to even watch, because like initially, like, what really brought me into crypto was being contrarian. So being a contrarian, I was always in love with gold and silver. But then as I started to realize that the people that are holding all of these gold and silver like blocks physically in reserve are banks, and banks don't need to tell the truth about how much gold that they're actually holding. And then you can easily create trading environments around gold without even having that amount of gold in your, in your vault. So it's very, very manipulatable, which is the main issue. And gold is, I mean, just look at it. Like, this is so garbage. Like, it should have, we should have broken above 2,500 a while ago. But I mean, we're still here. I mean, short term currently, this is a disgusting bear flag here, right? And we're barely crossing above the 50% fib level. The MACD is overbought. The RSI is moving up so much. We barely even moved up. So yeah, man, I really hate gold. I really don't like silver. But yeah, when gold and silver are very overextended to the downside or the upside, then they are better chances of buying like 3 or 4 week out puts or calls, depending on because if we're trading outside of the upper level of the B band, then buying puts would be a higher likely chance. And if we're trading outside of the lower level of the B band, the same applies. So I mean, yeah, there's my analysis on gold. It's garbage. Just trade crypto, trade options on crypto. Yeah, it's way more profitable and less of a headache. All right, Square. This is not the most bullish setup because we can see that the MACD is very overbought. The RSI sharply moved upward, but Square barely moved, right? It barely made a move, but the RSI sharply moved out of overbought or oversold from 24 to 35, and it barely even moved. So that's not the most bullish sign for Square. Same concept with the MACD. This 154.85 level is a downward target from a while ago. So yeah, essentially, I mean, this is bearish. So this is not the most bullish setup here. So you really need to be careful here. If we could continue go on higher, then 180 is going to end up being like the target, 178, 180. But aside from that, Square is not something that's really worth looking at too much right now. Once the IWM starts to be more bullish, then Square and these other garbage like setups, because there's a lot of large companies that look like crap right now. And when the IWM starts doing well, I mean, honestly, if you have the money for it, you can just buy, longer term calls for like February or March at like 200 or 205. And if history is correct in that the IWM is going to outperform in January, then Square should do well as well. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think Square should do well as long as these lows hold. Roku. So Roku had a really, really tough time in the past few weeks. So yeah, essentially it needs to hold this trend line level here, right? So this was a trend line that once we broke to the downside, it was a really, really, really solid opportunity to go short, but I didn't alert it on Twitter, and I just didn't want to talk about it because I wanted to alert it. I was watching this. I was waiting for us to break, and I just never shared it because I think we were looking at the indices or something. But yeah, this was just a beautiful shorting opportunity once we broke, and then you can see that it continued to, come back and retest this same trend line. So right now in the short term, this is a bull flag, which is bullish. We've retested this trend line multiple times, and it looks like as long as 222 can hold, then Roku can go back and retest potentially even 250. And yeah, there's my analysis on Roku. Nvidia had a monster day today. It broke above this very, very, very important level of resistance at 305.09. So as long as that level holds, and then this 20 exponential moving average at 302.60, as long as those two levels hold, essentially, then Nvidia should also make new all-time highs as well. And this is just a beautiful move. The RSI barely moved as well. You can see, I mean, this is just a very, very bullish move in the chip sector, the Nvidia and AMD. So 305 needs to hold. The next target would be, it's not even the next target. It's just if the rest of the market continues going higher, then Nvidia is going to end up retesting all-time highs as well, most likely. But if you do want to have a target, then it would be right here at 320. So if 319. So if 319 can hold, then 319 is going to be the next level of resistance to the upside. So yeah, I mean, this is that's the biggest level. So yeah, Nvidia, very, very bullish. This is a large bull flag here, right? So if this is almost $140 bull flag. So if we were to continue, if we were to break out, then it would be $140 plus whatever 320. So it would be all the way up here. So yeah, I mean, Nvidia looks very, very bullish. There's a reason why Nancy Pelosi keeps buying shares. So this is Apple. I drew whatever I drew here, and it literally it traded exactly within this drawing that I had. Go ahead and erase that. Yeah, I mean, I think I was trying to show that it was we were reverse. Whatever, man. The MACD is oversold. It hasn't even crossed above yet. The MACD has not crossed above yet, which means that there's still tons more room to the upside. The RSI has not become overbought yet, which also means that there's tons more room to the upside. And we haven't even gotten to all-time highs. So there's still more room to the upside. And because Apple, it has such a strong weight in the SPY and the NASDAQ, it's going to help bring the rest of the market up. So the fact that Apple looks so bullish is a very, very good signal for the rest of the market. In the short term, this 177 level needs to hold, which is the high of yesterday. So yeah, as long as that holds, we're solid. Amazon does not look as good. We held recently in the past few days, we held this 33.33 level and the 33.12 level pretty well. But as you can see today, we failed to cross and hold above the 20 exponential moving average, which is not a good sign. The MACD is overbought. The RSI is pointing downwards. So this is not a bullish sign for Amazon. It looks like it can come back down and retest at least 33.70. If that's the case, then it can potentially fall down even lower and then retest this 33.38 level. So just be careful about Amazon. It does not look as bullish at all as the rest of the NASDAQ tech-related stocks. LVO. So I have this trend line drawn out from before, and I mean, yeah, we held that level perfectly, and now we're just basically holding that zone. And we can clearly see that 136, 137 is holding right now, but 131 needs to hold as support. And then the upward target is 143. I would not enter this until we make a bottom and hold above 143. If we can do that, that's when I would feel more comfortable to buy into LVO. Right now, it looks very, very bearish. I would wait for a break above resistance and a retest and creating a foundation above it. So Tesla is way more bullish than Amazon, right? Obviously. And Tesla, I mean, there's still tons more room to the upside. We held and broke above this trend line beautifully, and that was basically the signal that we were going to continue going on higher. And yeah, man, Tesla is just a beast. But now it's overbought on the MACD. It's almost nearing overbought on the RSI. But again, I mean, there's almost $200, $150 left until new all-time highs. And yeah, the fact that we're still very bullish on Tesla is a very good sign for the NASDAQ. What we can actually do here is, I'm not sure if this will work. We can wait. Honestly, I don't want to short Tesla. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, this is also a big bull flag here, and then the upward target would be above 1400. So yeah, overall Tesla looks very, very bullish as well. In the short term, looks bullish, but in the short term, it needs to hold this 1067 level. And if that if we come back and retest 1067 and hold, then 1160 is going to be the next target to the upside. So Lucid had a bullish day today, but it is not a good longer term long until we break above $41 and hold and create some sort of support and bottom, and then from there continue on higher, because right now we're below resistance, and you know the MACD is overbought, and this is not good. The RSI is, it's not really important because this is a bear flag, so we need to invalidate this bear flag before we really become bullish on Lucid. So yeah, there's that on Lucid. Roblox did pretty well. So we can see that it failed actually though at the 20 exponential moving average. So the next upward target on Roblox is going to be this level here, basically at 110, 110.50. The MACD is overbought. The RSI is moving upwards in a pretty decent rate, but again, this is an overall bear flag. So we need to wait until we break above 110.83 essentially. Once we do that, then that would be a better case scenario to go long on Roblox. Right now, you're basically just throwing a dart in the dark here if you were to go long. So just wait until basically 111. And if 111 holds the support, then it would be a much better buy. So this is APO. So APO, you can see that there's a downtrend here when we connect the wicks. And today we failed to cross and close above that level. Yesterday, Friday, actually, we closed at that level. Today, we opened above it, but we closed below it. So the level for tomorrow that we need to close above is going to be approximately 74.10. The MACD is overbought. We're trading outside of the upper level of the B band, but it does have a history of trading outside of the upper level of the B band very well. So that shouldn't be a huge concern, but this downtrend is. So 74.10 needs to hold, and we need to close above that level tomorrow for this to look bullish for APO. Otherwise, if we continue falling, then this was just a great shorting opportunity. MDT looks very bullish only because the MACD hasn't crossed above yet, but otherwise, you know, the amount that we have moved in terms of the stock price doesn't look that great. The RSI moving up this much doesn't look that great either in terms of the stock price, but this is really all that's going for it at the moment. There is a huge gap until 111.27, and the only way that we would end up breaking and retesting this gap is we need to close above the 20 exponential moving average. So currently the 20 exponential moving average is at 107. By the time we come back and retest it, it'll be around like 106, 106.50. So that level needs to really break and hold. And then from there, then we can maybe come back and retest this 111 gap. But MDT right now, this was just a huge move in the MACD and the RSI, but not so much in the actual stock price. So just be careful about that. Now, MMM looks very, way more bullish because we closed above this 20 exponential moving average. The MACD also has not crossed above yet. So that means that there's still tons more room to the upside. But this RSI moved very sharply. And, you know, that isn't always a terrible sign because we did cross above this very important 20 exponential moving average. So if we can continue on higher, so essentially what needs to happen is we need to hold this 175.50 level and today's low at 174.91. If we can hold those two levels as support, that would be a very good opportunity for MMM to go on higher, go back and retest the 178.50, and then, you know, continue on higher. And yeah, overall, MMM looks way more bullish than MDT. Lithium, lit, does not look very lit, in my opinion. The MACD, we worked out of oversold very poorly. We did not even come back anywhere near this 20 exponential moving average, which is not a good sign. The RSI bounced so heavily, but yet the price of the stock barely moved. Again, a very bearish sign. The way that it's currently looking, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back and retested the gap down at 82.59. So yeah, I'm not bullish at all on this. I would be very careful about going long until we create a more bullish structure. But right now, it looks very, very bad. Speaking of bad, here's Riot. So Riot is having tons of trouble because Bitcoin doesn't look doesn't actually look very bullish, you know, and we can clearly see the price action of Riot and Mara, because Bitcoin, yeah, it's trading at 51, but people can see that the indicators on Bitcoin are much more bearish. So that's why the next few weeks are going to be very, very important for Bitcoin and, of course, for Riot as well. 2632 is still acting as resistance here. You can clearly see it was acting as resistance today. Yeah, the MACD is very overbought. This looks very, very bearish. The 20 exponential moving average needs to then break, which is approximately going to be at 27. Overall, 2632, we need to create a bottom above this level first. If we can create support and a bottom above this level, then it can start really, you know, getting some sympathy gains if Bitcoin continues making gains as well. But until then, it looks very, very bearish. Mara, same concept, but it essentially just needs to break above 42.76. We can see that it came back and retested the 20 exponential moving average, actually. But now 42.76 needs to be the level that we break and hold above. Yeah, basically my analysis on Riot and Mara are basically the same. DOT worked out really well, held support at 24 very, very well. Now the next level of resistance for DOT is going to be 33.68. So the only thing right now is that we're trading basically outside of the upper level of the B band. So just be wary of, you know, the upward movements here. But yeah, 33.60, 33.50 is going to be the next upward target. But it doesn't look, I think it needs to cool down just a bit, and it would give some more room for the Bollinger Band to create some space above as well. And then from there, then it can skyrocket even higher, but it all depends on how Bitcoin is moving as well. Overall, you know, the MACD is overbought now. The RSI is almost overbought. Moved very, very sharply all the way from 31 to right now 55. So yeah, just be careful on DOT. Now is not the time to buy into it. We got to buy into it at dips at levels of support. CELR, very, very similar chart. We're very overbought on the MACD, very overbought on the RSI. The next upward targets are going to be 10 cents and 50, right here at these highs here. And yeah, again, I think we need to have some sort of a cool down period for us to find levels of support and then continue on higher, because right now it looks very, very overextended, and the indicators are also showing that just a bit. So I'd be very careful about going long. Pfizer looks very, very bullish because this is a bull flag formation, and we've held levels of support very well. We worked out of overbought on the RSI. Now we're back into normal zone, and now the MACD is also oversold. So Pfizer looks very, very bullish. Essentially, if this 58 level can hold, Pfizer looks very, very bullish. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I might even take a position in Pfizer. Like, this is a really nice setup. Fubo looks garbage. I wouldn't even bother touching it right now because we need to close above the 20 exponential moving average. That has not happened yet. And once the IWM starts showing a bit more strength, Fubo is going to be a much better and safer play. Right now, it's not the case. 1518 needs to hold as support. Short term, it looks a bit bearish because the MACD is overbought. The RSI is pointed downwards. We worked out of oversold into a very sharp move into the RSI, barely really moved in the stock price. Not looking good overall, man. So yeah, essentially I would wait for a close and hold above $18. If that happens, then I would feel way more comfortable getting into Fubo. But right now, it looks like we can even fall back down lower. We're basically in the middle, so it's not a good time to go long in Fubo. Microsoft, man, we held this level of support perfectly. I talked about it in the video, how 318 was a beautiful support level. We came back down, retested it, and I used Microsoft as a way to gauge the bottom in the NASDAQ. And this worked out and coincided perfectly. And I mean, look, now we're basically about to retest all-time highs. So Microsoft looks very, very bullish as well. And Microsoft was one of the leading reasons why the NASDAQ and the SPY moved up so vehemently. So Yeah, now the MACD is overbought. The RSI stopped moving stagnantly and had a sharp move today, just like the rest of the indices, which is completely fine. But yeah, I mean, now the next target is going to be 350 on Microsoft. So just keep that in mind. There's still tons more room to go to the upside according to the RSI as well. So that is very bullish on Microsoft. 334.65 needs to hold as support though. And a retest of that level would be completely normal. And then we need to see if we can continue on higher. BTU looks somewhat bullish because the MACD is pointing downwards, yet the price is moving upwards. So that is a bullish signal. The RSI is moving upwards as well. But again, I wouldn't really look to enter any long positions until we can hold and close above 1122. The the Bollinger Bands are very close to the price right now, so that is not the best time to go into long in a very weak stock, right? So just be careful about that. Wait for 1122. Now's not the time to go long. Even wait for a retest at $10. This 20 exponential moving average. But right now, it's not the best time to go long. And last but not least, PayPal. 196.15 is a very important level of resistance. PayPal will do much better as the IWM starts to do much better as well. The MACD is overbought. The RSI is stagnant. I would wait for 116.15 to break, hold above, get support above that level, and then we'd continue on higher. And there's my analysis on all of the stocks. If you guys liked the video, please make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe, put on post notifications. I really enjoy helping you guys, and I'm really hopeful that you guys are learning stuff. And yeah, man, I'm very thankful that I get to do this. And yeah, without further ado, I'm not even sure why I'm saying that, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Time to eat.